I was right. School never mattered, and now I feel betrayed. So I remember in elementary school where they'd tell you, hey, you got to do your shit because in middle school, they don't fuck around. Um, was it called elementary? What was it called? Elementary school? Isn't there another name for it? I don't know. Yeah, in middle school, they don't fuck around. So you can't turn in work late in middle school. I'll let it slide for this time because you're in third grade, but you can't do this shit in middle school. Like, it's gonna get harder. And then in middle school, you bring in something late, and they're like, hey, I'm gonna let it slide this time. But in high school, they don't play that shit. High school is another fucking level. High school, they're gonna slap the shit out of you if you bring in something late. You can't do that. You're gonna fail life. You're gonna die. Your brain's gonna turn to oatmeal and come out of your nose. That's actually what they said in elementary school if you don't read. And then in high school, you get there and half the kids aren't even there. They're like outside smoking weed. But they're still like, hey, you can't bring shit in late. I'll let it slide this time. But in college, they don't play that shit. If you want to get into college, you need to turn in your assignments. And then I've heard in college that nobody even shows up. You don't even have to go to class. You just do your work. And it's all a fucking lie. And I was a kid that for some reason just got good grades and never even questioned it. So I never really questioned. I did question it. I don't know why I said that. I totally questioned it. I was like, what the fuck is the point of this? This is actually pointless. It is stupid. But because I'm doing it, I'm going to do it. And I don't know, I feel like I should just do all my work. And so I got all the work done. And I got mostly A's through all of school. And I ended with like a 3.9 GPA. I got into all 10 colleges I applied to. But then I didn't go to college. And I just became an entrepreneur and made money online, which has been way fucking better, which means every single time, which is hundreds, that I got kicked out of class, it never mattered. Every time I didn't turn in an assignment, it never mattered. Every time I was sick and missed a bunch of work and my grades went down, it never mattered. Isn't that awesome? And so I'm not saying that if you're in school right now, stop doing anything because it doesn't matter. If you want to be a doctor, or you want to be a lawyer, or you want to be something that requires a very specific degree, which most things do not, that's a total hoax. If you're going to school for business, you're most likely stupid and you should just drop out and just start a fucking business. Then you should go to college and you should get good grades and all that shit. But like, we're all gonna die. Like, your little C+ that you got doesn't fucking matter. You don't need a high GPA. You just need a good college essay. You don't need to take all these honors classes and shit. Nobody's gonna remember. You don't need to not swear in class. You can swear. They can just say, stop swearing hundreds of times, and it never matters. Honestly, be nice to your teachers. Unless they're assholes, then be an asshole. But yeah, I feel bad. I was kind of very disruptive to a lot of my teachers. And I'm not trying to create disruptive people. Well, I am, in a sense, but in a good way. I'm not trying to be like, fuck everything, it doesn't matter. Because if you're like a 35-year-old woman, that's probably what you think when you're watching this. That's just what I imagine. But I'm just trying to say, like, it's going to be okay. And you don't have to go to college. That's mostly a scam. And all of the shit you're worried about is not going to matter in 5 years. And in 100 years, you're going to be dead. And so it will not matter at all. None of it will matter. And so the little problem you're stressing about, oh, I got to do all this shit, it doesn't matter. And that's kind of my point. I just kind of realized, like, man, I was in school stressing the fuck about doing all this shit. And I always had a feeling, I don't think it's going to matter. I really don't think it's going to matter. All this shit that I'm kind of brushing under the desk, I think it's going to stay under the desk. And I don't think it's ever going to matter. And I was right. And I'm so happy that I was right. And yeah, but I wouldn't have been right if I went to college. And so the moral of the story is to not go to college. All right, smash the like. Bye.